And the thing was, I was interrogating him, and I took the DM aside. We were playing outside. It was actually really nice. I took the DM aside and like led him down the yard. Told him what I wanted to do. It's like, okay.
What is it that you wanted to do?
I flayed him. I flayed him alive.
Oh,
I
nice.
tied him up in a stable. I tied him up in a stable. I surgically removed his skin except for face, hands, and feet, and left him tied up in the stable like that. But took the skin and disposed it, so no one ever found it. That was just funny. And then, so the thing is I went and talked to the DM in private, and what he told me from my interrogation and stuff was also in private. We didn't tell the other players. So the next morning, because I was alone, the next morning, the rest of the party found the body.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I nat 20 to deception check to go, I have no idea. Maybe his bandit comrades caught up with him and did this as a display.
Oh, no.
He was alive when he was beat up, but when I left him, but he was alive. And they all believed me. And the thing is, in real life, they still never found out what entirely happened.
Oh my gosh.
That character became legendary, so he became an assassin. At my very last time I got to play with them because work was interfering, we failed a mission. We got mad. Me and a few of the guys went and like stormed a pirate ship just to blow off steam.
Mm-hmm.
I got mauled by bull mastiffs and lost an eye and got all like fucked up. At that point, I was just like, you know what? I really don't want this character to be a loss. I would rather he just die. And he didn't die because we killed the captain. We killed the dogs. I started trying to kill myself, so the DM had me roll for it. And before I could be successful, my allies knocked me out and rolled me in a rug. When they came out of the door of the captain's quarters, the entire crew were on the ship. They said, and the DM said, okay, I'm going to give you one chance. Discuss amongst yourselves. I'm going to give you one chance to say one thing. And what happens next is up to you. After a little bit, they come back and go, he killed your captain, we killed him. They killed them. Pirates killed them. Because they said, he killed your captain instead of our captain. Which, if that one word would have been changed, they would have been like, all right. Well, they thought I was already dead. They dismembered them. They were dead.
Jesus
dead.
Christ.
And those were players. Like, they're gone.
Oof.
They thought I was dead, so they just took the body wrapped in the rug and threw it overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Cold salt water woke me up, and I had to roll a saving throw to get out of the rug, nat 20. I had to roll a saving throw, athletics, to swim to shore, nat 20.
Ooh, 2 in a row.
I'm alive, and my allies are dead who are coming back next week to keep playing, and I'm never coming back. And the very last thing that happens is I'm completely unrecognizable to the rest of the party, even if they did find me.
Nice.
I'm wandering the streets, and here's the thing: is I kept getting these hints of an assassin's guild called the Black Rose that kept saying like, "Hey, we see what you're doing. We got our eye on you, Bob." You know. At the very end, I'm like cackling psychotically through the alleys of the street, and I'm role playing. I'm like walking and hitting the walls and laughing. I finally land at a wall and slide down. I'm maimed. I'm pretty much left for dead, and I'm just laughing psychotically like the Joker. And a dude in a cloak and a cowl comes up and hands me a black rose and says, "We've been waiting for you." And I've never appeared again.
Ooh, that's actually.
I never appeared again, which is actually not true.
Mm-hmm.
I did appear again. Way later in a different campaign, and I had a little brooch that actually disguised me so you couldn't tell that I was disfigured, but it was a black rose.
Nice.
And then I disappeared again. But that dude, I've almost finished the prologue for my book. It's almost done now, and the prologue is actually about him arriving in the Forgotten Realms. So, because he actually is found crucified upside down on an abandoned sandbar by pirates.
Does Creare Marketing get a copy?
Yeah. No, I mean you can read when I finish it. I'll send you it in the email. I'll send you the prologue.
Oh, I want the book.
No, I know. I have the structure of it, but
Hardcover.
it's. I want to do a series. It is D&D based. It is based in the Forgotten Realms. It's called The Outcast, and it ends in an E, so CASTE, like a caste system. The reason is it's very much influenced because I loved 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and it gets no fucking love.
Yeah, I don't like
It gets nobody likes it. I fucking love it. I started playing 3rd. I've played OD&D, AD&D 2nd edition, 3rd, 3.5, 4th, 5th, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, bunch of others.
That's the one. Call of Cthulhu is the one we're gonna be playing. I think next week or the week after this.
What edition? I'm only familiar with 7th, which I
really-
think is the most recent.
I think that's the one that we're doing.
Okay.
Spencer chose that one. One of my characters I made, it was on a D&D campaign we did, which was like Destiny 2, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
you could have like Hive and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll be a Hive, dude. And so they explained to me like how it works. It's like, if you want to be a different person, because you start off as like an acolyte or a thrall, you have to like get these certain crystals, but they're inside of like the other knights and stuff like that. And so, your little acolyte just walking around in a little hive world and everything, and he walks into this library and he sees a wizard, and I was like, ooh, a wizard. So I talked to him and I learned about the crystals, and I learned he has one. And I look at the DM, I give him like this little demonic smile, and I was just like, I want to push this little thing of books on top of this witch real quick. And so I automatically kills him. And then I see this knight, and he's like, Jasiah, now think about this. You could either make allies with this knight or like straight up just murder him for the crystal. And I was just like, I'll take him up like 30 feet and then just drop him. Yeah, fuck this guy. I was like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Give me my crystals.
And so, I took all these crystals and stuff, and I became like this little hoarder. Because, I became this hoarder of crystals, man.
I hate this fucking chair. God, it hates me back, but shit. Sorry.
And, it's like, I became like this little devourer, glutton dude, right? Because I got like glutton powers from like eating them. So,
That chair was actually yours. I bought that chair for you.
This edition was unexpected.
I didn't see that coming.
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
I tease.
But,
I forgot to text.
I was just like walking around causing chaos because Spencer allows me in all the campaigns because I'm like the little chaotic element that he loves to have to just wreak havoc on
Your inner
anyone's-
Kinder.
Yeah, because like anytime there's like a DM meeting, he's just like, Jasiah, I need you to go wreak some havoc in that player's life. So there was this one person.
That's why I've literally always banned Kinder. I don't. We play tested D&D 5th, and they had Kinder as a default race most of the time. And I don't normally run Greyhawk anyway, so like I'm not big on them to begin with. But I fucking hate Kinder.
I understand that. I have.
They suck.
Same.
They are so annoying. They
Why does Kinder suck?
They encourage players to be assholes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And derail
That would
the game.
That would
But
be
why
something
is that?
like I would.
I'm
So-
not familiar with it.
They're racially kleptomaniacs. They tend to come inbound with a bag of holding, like level 1, just almost always because they're constantly stealing shit and they have to have a place to hide. No, I'm not even kidding. It's fucking ridiculous. They are constantly stealing shit and they have to hide it. But they are also like destructive as shit. Like so they're halfling sized. They're around 3 foot something. And they are just the biggest, most giant pain in the ass. I have very purposefully killed many a Kinder.
Killed him.
And I told them, I said, don't bring them to my table. Like I said, we were playtesting D&D. At the time, it was called D&D Next, and it's what became 5th edition. And we were playing what is that called? It was one of the adventures that bridged it. It was the one that involved the Dracolich, but now I can't remember what it's called. Unimportant, but somebody was playing a Kinder because he refused to listen to me. I had his Kinder devoured in a different plane, so there was no way he could bring that guy back.
You know what Kinders sound like? They sound like spoiled, like iPad toddlers.
They are.
That's what they
They
sound
are,
like.
only they're centuries old, and they have planar magic innately. It's
Okay.
stupid
Great.
as hell.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
Well,
I
welcome
can't-
back to the Creare Marketing Podcast.
Hey, guys.
Sponsored by Dungeon Dudes. I wish. Sponsored by Creare Marketing. The Shinny Gamer to be. He's writing a book, as you heard. And Jasiah
Howdy.
from the Bible.
directly.
So, you know what? I'm not going to kill the vibe. We're going to keep going with the Dungeons and Dragons. And then maybe we may get to another topic later.
Maybe.
So, Jasiah, tell us some more about your D&D stories. I know you got a ton of them.
Oh, okay. So there was a certain person. His name was Quentin Bryson. And
Ooh,
Quentin
call out.
and Quentin was like, getting along in the campaign and making good progress. And Spencer pulled me aside one day. He's like, Jasiah, I need you to do your job. And I was like, what is my job? He's like, be your chaos self. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm gonna put you in the same place as he is. And I was like, perfect. So Quentin was a hive also, right? And Quentin was like a brood mother. He's like trying to make a whole hive army to like take over. So he's on this little planet by himself. He has a little husband knight. And I remember I crashed into his house on purpose, set it on fire.
As you do.
I on purpose flew the whole ship. I could have landed right there beside it, and I decided to roll nat 1 on landing and just crashed into the house. I found his husband just walking around, and I remember I was trying to talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, you're talking about my wife." And as soon as he said his wife, I spewed lava all over him, and then decided to like make him my slave basically, and then say, "Hey, when your wife comes back to the house, we're gonna kill him." And then I wrote a nat 1 on communication. And instead of him understanding what I said, he went on a mass genocide and murdered every other like thing there, and then came back and then tried to kill me. And then Quentin's like, "Why?" He's just like, "Why, Jasiah?" I was like, "Because." Just because. And so Quentin.
We're on a mission from God.
So Quentin, got like taken by this like brood queen.
Right.
They gave him another chance. So it's just like, oh, you don't get away that easily. I'm sorry. And so I took his ship that he had in there. I went to the front of like the big ship, and Spencer's like, you could just go up in there. I was just like, yeah, I do, but I have hyperdrive. I want to go hyperdrive into the ship. And he's just like, I don't think you could do that. I was like, I think I can. And so I got a nat 20 on it. So I was like, let me do it.
I guess I can.
And so I hyperdrived into the arena that he was in because he was fighting something. And I basically just one-shot it with the ship. And it took all his glory and became the champion and stuff. And so there was like a witch watching over me in the ship because they didn't trust me. Because Quentin was like rolling for like deception.
Gee, I wonder why they didn't trust you. I can't imagine, sir.
There was this hive knight dude. He was like an albino knight. So albino knight is like giant, big guy, has a giant axe and everything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's bigger than me. He can one-shot me at any time. So it's just like, I really need to find out how to kill you real quick. So, I was just walking around with him. And then Spencer says, you can feel as if something's watching you. And so I was just like, where is that thing at? And he's like, you see a witch above you. I was just like, oh, I want to grab that person. And he's just like, huh? I was just like, yeah, give me the athletics real quick. So I had +5 on athletics with my little knight. And so I rolled like a good 15 on it. And it was just like, hey, come here, little buddy. He was at the ceiling. So, just straight up grabbed him, threw him down. And there's this thing called Queen's Foil. I was interrogating him. I was like, either you tell me, bruh, or this Queen's Foil is going to be our next test experiment, bruh. And he wouldn't tell me. So I poured it on him. It turned into a big old taken witch. And I was just like, oh no. And so, run away into the ship. Brood Queen Mother.
I have made a grave mistake.
The Brood Queen Mother was looking at me and she's like, what's going on? And I rolled a nat 20 on my deception. And I was just like, I don't know. Big pee-pee wizard over there. And she's like, well, you can handle it as our champion. And I was like, I got it. And so I threw this grenade into the vents. And I was just like, surely it'll hit her. Surely it'll hit her because it went into the vents. So I was just like,
Why do you
I'm
have
not
a
going in
grenade?
there.
Aren't you a knight?
yeah, I'm not going in there. I can't even fit in there. My knight was like 6'9". I'm not gonna fit in a vent. I'm not gonna fit in there. I couldn't fit in there.
But where'd you get the grenade?
Oh, I grabbed it off the albino knight because he was just chilling. And I was just like, I'm gonna take this real quick. And so I threw it in there. Big explosion happens. And I was like, I think I got it. And then the ship started to like go down. And I was just like, oh, what did I hit? And Spencer's like, do you want to know what you hit? And he's like, yeah. It's like, you hit the engine. I was like, oh, damn. And so, meanwhile, the whole ship's crashing. I tell Quentin, I was like, this is not my fault. Not gonna lie. If you had just died, this would have all been solved.
This would have never happened.
If you would have just allowed me to murder you,
Yeah,
we wouldn't be having this discussion.
This is literally it. So, crash on the moon and everything. The Hive albino knight is just looking at me, disappears. And I'm just like, I think you're going to try and murder me. So I'm going to take my run and leave. And so Quentin is with the Queen Brood Mother, right? And she's over here because she got impaled and everything. And
As you do.
It was very funny because, it was like a pretty sad experience because he's sitting there trying to talk to the Queen Brood Mother and she's going to tell him some important information. And straight in the middle of her trying to tell her that, I just come up with this axe and just behead her, take the crystal and eat it. And I was just like, tasty. And then walk away. And Quentin was like, I'm going to murder you. I was like, oh my God. And so when he tried to fight me, he tried to go up in the air. And I was like, I'm going to throw my axe. And so I threw it. And it misses him. But it hit a rock behind him. And it fell on him and killed him. And it was the funniest thing ever. Because I remember him looking at Spencer. And he said, that's straight bullshit.
Who else has won a death duel by accident?
There's no sugar in my coffee.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, I noticed your face a little weird. I was
Yeah,
gonna ask you about it.
it wasn't at your story. She didn't put no sugar in here.
But
Ain't no sugar in here.
Delicious.
the campaign went on and stuff. There was this other dude. I forgot his name. It's Brandon. So Brandon got like a little thing, a bounty for my head. And I was just like, oh, a bounty for me? Whatever did I do? It's not like I literally went and blew up the Capitol just because. Yeah, I did blow up the Capitol. I kind of went in town, walking around a little Hive night. And there was some Guardians there. And they were like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, oh, this bomb is not supposed to be here either. And so I kind of threw it to them and ran away.
But were you wrong?
No.
It sounds like a
Absolutely
whole lot
not.
of wrongs here, man. It sounds like a whole lot of
Oh,
wrongs.
in campaigns, I'm like your chaos neutral or chaos evil guy. I'm never gonna be like your good person. Cause like my recent character I made, his name was Billy Bob. All right, because my knight got kind of beheaded in front of me. I was just like, oh,
Kinda.
yeah, kinda.
Just a little.
Because Brandon, for some reason, he had this gun that could paralyze me, and it paralyzed me. He's just like, goodbye, old friend, and just beheads me. I was just like, I didn't even know your character, but okay. But I made Billy Bob. Billy Bob was this country character, and he had his little ghosts that would talk to him in a little country voice. And my introduction was that I wanted to be another evil dude, and I got this little gun that was like a thorn that could actually kill Guardians, because Guardians have like ghosts and shells that can revive them if they like die. But my introduction was, they're talking to some Hive, and all you hear is some loud country music, and you hear like, "Yahoo, Billy Bob! It's time! It's time to wrangle up some monsters here." So I come up, I shoot Brandon's character like in the knee, do a kickflip off of him, and I landed on Quentin.
Arrow to the knee.
Oh, arrow to the knee. It's perfect. And so I remember that we had to stop the campaign because I was talking to this certain, like...
Y'all heard that too, right?
Yeah, I thought it was you.
iPhone.
There was this certain character. There's all types of races. There's like Vex, Hive, Taken, the Scorn, the Fallen. And the Vex are like time people. They can travel through time. They can see the future and everything. And so I saw this certain hobgoblin watching me from far away, and I tried to shoot him. And he teleported, and he's just like, "What are you doing, kind sir?" And I was just like, "I don't know. You tell me. you look robotic and everything. And he's just like, just watching. And it's just like, oh, that's interesting. You want to take me on an adventure? And Spencer's like, that's not how it's supposed to go. And it's just like interrogation. And so I rolled like a 19 on my little intimidation thing, right? And little Vexman's like, okay. And he takes me through like time and everything. And there's this certain thing you're not supposed to mess with in time. And I killed a
it called
certain
the
person.
past?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
past. And I kind of killed this certain person and it kind of broke into my dimensions and everything. And so that session never happened because it had to get fixed.
He broke the universe.
I broke the universe,
He broke the
basically.
universe.
And there was like 5 of me, like at the end of the session. And I remember I heard the rest of the group talking. And they're like, we're going to have to kill Jasiah over here. And I was just like, oh, that sounds really
We got
interesting.
Avengers Josiah War over here.
It is, because like in every campaign, they always have to team up and kill me. With like my little necromancer man. Oh, so I had this crown. It was speaking to me on my head, and it would tell me what to do. And so I had a lot of like people that would like follow me around and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had this little big army of people, right? And so I remember we was in this room. It's a bunch of boxes. It's like you can open them, and, you know, get whatever out of it. So it's just this crystal, and I was like, I'm gonna put the crystal up to the crown. And so then the crown started screaming out of nowhere, and I forgot the name of it. I'm not that familiar with like D&D and all that stuff, but there was like these brain type of things, brain eater type of things. But it's like, mind flayers. And so if
Well-
I had successfully summoned them, the whole campaign would have ended right there because I would have basically gotten everyone one shot by it. And there was this dude named Adrian, right? He hated my guts in the campaign. You know, everyone else was laughing. Look, everyone else loved my character. He would always make like jokes about Ryan Reynolds becoming the ultimate god and everything, and Ryan Reynolds and
I love
blame
Ryan
you there.
Reynolds.
I don't blame you there.
and so they killed me. And I remember I made like a little neutral character, and Adrian, the person who like incinerated me and all that stuff, took the crown and everything. I was just like, "Hey, friend, yeah, you want to know something?" And he's like, "What?" You have no magic because I had the eye of the beholder. And so it literally takes out everyone's magic in like 30 feet. And he couldn't use anything. And his character was weak as shit in fist-to-fist combat. So all I did was like use my strength and just put his head straight into the ground. And so his character was just upside down in the dirt for like half the campaign. Because he had to make saving throws to get out. And he always rolled a nat 1 to get out of there.
Oh my god, that's some like Wile E. Coyote stuff.
Did you have a topic before you came in? Because you came in talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Basically, but I was just shooting the breeze.
What about you? You said you wanted to talk about elections today, right?
Yeah, but it was really just like a subject thrown out there because
You were salty, huh?
our plans kind of blew up for this session.
That's what I
So,
said.
Yeah.
So what, did you think you were going to come on the podcast today?
No, I did
He
not
thought he was
actually.
just
I just
gonna
thought I was
sit
gonna
and
just
watch.
sit and watch.
Sit and watch.
Yeah.
So what made you come by?
Oh, I was here with Haley anyway, and she asked me to come along with her, so I was just like, oh, I'll come along.
Yeah. I meant to text the group, and I was like, hey, I meant to text you guys and be like, hey guys, I'm bringing Jasiah with me, just an FYI. But then we went to Spirit Halloween, and I got distracted, and I completely forgot.
Yeah, if I wasn't here, I would be at home playing Brawlhalla.
So
Because
Haley said that you tagged along, that you jumped in the car, that she had no choice. You had to come. That's what she told us.
no. Okay, actually, right.
I
I was
Dang.
chilling. I
Really
was
called me out
chilling.
now, Corey.
I was
Gosh.
chilling in my bed actually, and I looked at her and I was
In
just
my
like,
bed. In my bed. He claims everything is his. so
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's too
And
much.
so,
Too much.
And so I was just sitting there chilling. I was looking at my phone, looking at TikTok, little meme about Batman and Joker. And I remember I looked at her. I was like, "Hey, you want me to come?" I just hear this slight whisper. Yes.
He's been begging me to go out and eat brunch with him anyway, and we're already up here. First of all,
Brunch?
yeah.
Y'all are young, eating brunch.
Hey,
I don't
man,
even eat breakfast.
I told y'all, I am actually an old lady trapped in an 18-year-old's body because when I'm not working, I'm in bed by 10:30, asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
I go to sleep at
he'll
1.
try
don't-
and FaceTime me at like 11, and I'll be dead.
I
No
don't-
response.
I don't even know how to sleep. I've never.
I agree with you on that.
I've had insomnia my entire life, like since I was a wee little kid,
A wee lad.
and even before that, I sleptwalked.
Mm.
I was a sleepwalker, and I don't remember any of those.
Nice.
But I can go days without sleep. If I sleep more than 4 hours a night, I wake up feeling like I've been drugged, like I'm sick.
Dude,
4 hours is my absolute maximum.
I can't.
Before I started working, I actually used to be up to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
This is with me working.
And before then, now with like me working, I wake up at like weird times. Like say I go to sleep at like 12, I'll wake up at like 2, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll be trying to talk to her while she's like passed out in her sleep.
And
And
apparently I talk in my sleep and I respond to them
don't even say it because she has like four words, four phrases I have so far on her. And her first one was like out of nowhere. I was just sitting here playing like this game, and she's like, delicious. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And then the second time she was like, oh, hey, Casper. And I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. So recently, I think it was like this week, and she was sitting there talking about like latex hair. And I was just like, I didn't know hair could become latex, but all right. Yeah. And then she started talking about money and hair. And I was just like, okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you ever been on camera?
Mmm,
I've been on
delicious.
camera 2 or 3 times.
Only 2 or 3 times?
2 or 3 times.
Man, you came in and talked like you've been podcasting your whole life.
Yeah,
I've had
he
some
loves
people
talking.
freeze, man.
No,
I
he
talk
loves
too
talking.
much. I talk
Like-
too much about like a bunch of things.
That's what I like about our dynamic is because I don't really talk a lot. I'm more of like a listener type person. I'm sure you can tell by that because I don't really talk much. But he talks and talks and talks and talks and talks, and it's nice.
It's
That's what I
because
like
there's
about the
like a
dynamic.
million things I love to talk about at like one time, or like a bunch of things about games. Usually, I will get to talk.
You think of ADHD, and that's him. Like if ADHD was a person, that's
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
Jasiah.
me.
You guys should do a sub podcast just about games and
yeah. That would be
Oh.
that would be fun.
sponsored by Creare Marketing.
Sponsorship.
Speaking of, we need to hear in the comments, what do you want us to do as far as the Creare D&D game? Because
Yes.
that's clearly happening.
Yes, that would.
I will be DMing, as I am wont to do. So, have I ever explained the whole Forever DM thing of I break other DMs?
Yeah, our
first
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
I
Doesn't even know what to
I'm
say
trying
at
to
this
I'm
point.
trying to pick just one instance of a problem. But yeah, so I'm more than willing to DM, but let us know what you want to see us do, if as far as adventures, settings, anything. Give us some suggestions in the comments down
You
below.
ever had a total party kill when you were DMing?
Oh yeah.
Did you do it on purpose? Or did they walk
Yeah.
into it?
Both. So I mean, I didn't cheat for them. It wasn't my intention to murder 7 people. I had a big table. This was Adventurers League, actually. I used to run organized play, Adventurers League for Dungeons and Dragons through Wizards of the Coast, and I had a massive table. I always had like 7 players every week, plus me. They were in a temple, filled to the brim with Yuan-Ti, which are snake people.
Nice.
Like they're giant, like 9.5 foot long snakes, the size of people with arms that can hold weapons and stuff. You know, like they're yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah. So I mean, well,
Ninjago.
there's different varieties of Yuan-Ti. There's some that are actually made up of a bunch of little snakes all fused together to make a giant snake titan
Yeah.
monster thingy. There's ones that are just people, and then the heads are poisonous asps. You know. And then there's some that are almost human. Those are the Yuan-Ti pure blood. They have very little scales. They usually have slit eyes, that kind of stuff, but otherwise look human. And there's actually player race for that in 5th. From Volo's Guide to Monsters, I want to say. Anyway, they were in this temple full of snake people. You know the rock bridges you see in Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring?
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
You know, we know.
yeah, those were very slick because, jungly snake people. So definitely not the best terrain to fight on when you can't wrap your body around the thing to hold yourself the way the people you're fighting can.
Oh.
So, constant saving throws to keep their footing. I have never seen so many nat ones at a table at once in my life.
7 in a row.
There's only so many times that you can fall about 80 feet onto stone and survive.
Makes me sweat.
This was not any of those times. They all fell.
Oh, no.
They all fell. They did not kill a single enemy on the bridge because every time they would hit, it would push them,
Oh, no.
and down they went. So, long story short, the snakes had a very big surplus of rations
Great job.
due to the hamburger that was made of my party. Yeah, I have definitely had. That's only one of many times. There's another campaign in Curse of Strahd, the 5th edition Ravenloft
Don't
setting.
spoil it because we're running it right now with this party at Half Monday. Right, we just got to a house. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but we ain't started fighting yet. So don't spoil it yet.
Not. There's a building that is enchanted somewhere in the map. If you mess with it the wrong way too many times, it just causes lightning strikes. Yeah, this dude was absolutely determined to make as many of them happen as possible.
Oh, Jesus.
He got fused to the building. I want to say because he got struck so many times that he got superheated, and I think his body fused to the door metal of the door. And the problem was he had a sacred holy weapon that was important for beating the game. Yeah, it got really destroyed. And so the party just kind of grabbed hands, walked to the door, and kept activating it to kill the rest of them.
So they all used.
They were just like, we accept our fate. I like to think I'm a nice, pleasant DM, but anybody who's played with me at Adventurers League might disagree now that I look back on it, because that was also an Adventurers League campaign.
Oh, no.
It was actually the one before the snake one. That was fantastic. I actually had forgotten about that, but I'm not going to tell you where it was, what it does,
What it looks like.
how to not get struck by light. I'm not telling you any of that. Like, you're going to have to deal.
We have a half orc that has a 7 intelligence. He'll find it.
Oh, yeah,
And
he will.
he'll strike. He'll get struck.
Oh, yeah, he will.
All right, well, we'll wrap this one up because some of the team has stuff to do. We want you to go ahead and get to it.
Yeah.
We're going to heal your back because I know these are kind of rough. We're going to let you guys go. Thank you for coming on, by the way.
welcome.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Let us know. Should Jasiah be in the Creare campaign playing with us?
Oh, that would be.
No.
Why not?
He said no.
Probably not.
Look, I have a character. Right? And so my character
Rock's
is
fault.
very interesting because the DM will be able to mess with it because he has split personalities. And so one personality
that
would be
sounds fun.
like a good neutral guy, and the other one would be like a chaos neutral person. So he doesn't know about like his split personality, and every time he has to like roll sometimes at random is whenever the DM chooses for like a battle over personalities. And so if he gets the good side wins, I play him. If the chaos neutral wins, the DM gets to play him and make some rolls and do some things and
That
such.
sounds fun. So, yeah, maybe he gets to play it.
Now he's changing the
Maybe.
tune.
Maybe.
I got a few announcements. We got a new sponsor coming up.
Ooh, yes.
I'm not allowed to reveal yet because we ain't done the contract yet. But she should be doing a podcast soon, and she's going to sponsor you guys. So that sounds cool. New equipment coming because of that, so that's nice. We have Golden Lee's coming back. We're going to film that one Tuesday. and probably uploaded by Wednesday. So be looking out for that one. You guys, your first episode got 2,000 views, which is
No
the second
way.
highest we've had. So
Wow, look at us.
yeah, look at y'all, man.
Wow.
Samantha's really catching up to y'all though. She's killing it right now
Oh,
when it
yeah?
comes to views. So
I mean, I don't doubt it. She's really entertaining.
she is.
Yeah, she's
You
really
should
nice to
you
talk
should
to.
go talk to her when there's no one in the shop like I do.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, and when she's going, she's going.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in there for an hour and 30 minutes. You know, after I got my coffee and it's cold and
Yeah.
my back hurts sitting on the bench, and she's still going. When I get her on the podcast, you'll see. It's crazy. But we'll see you guys again. This will probably be uploaded by Wednesday. They usually get uploaded by Wednesday. No, because we got Samantha too. You know what? I'll figure it out. I'll upload it.
You'll
so-
get it when you get it, I guess.
Yes.
So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here as always.